Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore. Now, we've already had a great best of 3 of League of Legends here this morning, and in the end, the Cyber Games Arena Legends were crowned the champions of the amateur tournament, but now it is time for the pros to take the stage, and we have a fantastic matchup in that first quarterfinal, because it's going to be the Taipei Snipers as they take on the home crowd favorites, the Singapore Sentinels. And of course, we have our fantastic commentators, ESL's very own Joe and Jason, to cast all the action.
Thanks a lot, Shocks, and I think you hit the nail on the head right there. We're going to have some amazing games in the pro bracket here. Actually, funnily enough, we've already started here backstage. We've got Taipei Assassins taking on the Saigon Jokers right now in a best of 3. Unfortunately, due to a few time constraints, the fact that they have to play a little bit later on in the day in the GPL, that game won't be streamed, but I can tell you that the Saigon Jokers are currently 1-0 up in that best of 3.
Wow, so really anything can happen here over this course of the weekend. We have a lot more games coming up, obviously, with the semifinals tomorrow. We still have to see IG come to play. We still have CJ Entis Frost, sorry about that, to play as well. So many good teams, and to go from Cologne to this with the same caliber teams, if not better, is just amazing.
Yeah, we can have a look at the bracket for the pro tournament and just break that down a little bit for you. As I said, TPA and the Saigon Jokers are currently playing. They will, or the winner of that at least, will go on to play CJ Entis Frost tomorrow. And the game that we're going to be covering, Taipei Snipers versus the Singapore Sentinels, the winner will play Invictus Gaming IG tomorrow. Now, a lot of amazing teams in there in this one.
Yeah.
We picked this semi-final, quite frankly, because we're hoping that it's going to be the closer of the 2 games. That's what we're thinking. I mean, if we look at their current standings in GPL, Taipei Snipers doing a lot better overall, but the 2 games that they've actually played against each other so far this season, they're 1-for-1.
Yeah, and I'm actually curious to see what's going to get bound out here for this game, because we were talking about it earlier, Joe. There's a lot of similarities between both these teams in many different lanes. Also, who's actually going to be playing for each side? For TPS, we were curious, would we see O'Real? Would we see Wins, who just came from Gamina Bears? And it looks like we're actually going to see Wins be playing today.
Yeah, Wins, as you said, with the Gamma Bears at the World Championships for Season 3. Came in here technically as a sub, but has been playing for the Snipers since pretty much week 3 that they were going in their first game against Full Louis, which they won. And they're since that 4-for-1, funnily enough, with their only loss coming against the Singapore Sentinels. So we see the picks coming out in here. Morgana and Jax banned out, first of all. We have been seeing a lot of support Morgana out here in Southeast Asia. On the other side, Kale, which Cryonics has been playing quite a lot, and also the Annie, which actually crosses into both of the support roles for these 2 teams.
Yeah, and I really like seeing the Morgana ban. We saw earlier on, just at the game prior, how really effective it can be. And Mistake did play it in week number 2 against them, where they won 15-1 in kills. So I don't want to go necessarily up against that.
Yeah.
But the Annie ban, just like you said, I actually really like seeing that, because both supports can really play it. And we've seen just last week in Cologne how a game changer can be with Annie if you hit a 4 or 5 man stun.
It certainly can. Let's have a look at the final ban here coming out for TPS. Now, Shyvana was taken away by the Singapore Sentinels, and it's not really a surprise to see Renekton taken out, actually. Both of these teams play a lot of Renekton. Everyone plays a lot of Renekton right now. It's incredibly strong.
He has the highest pick or ban rate, actually, at 90.9%. So that kind of shows you, at least in the GPL, sorry, let me clarify. In the GPL, it's at 90.9. So kind of shows you exactly why he's picked or banned so often, or at least how these teams really respect that champion. But we do see Shen here. And it's kind of, if it's not Renekton here in GPL, or at least in GPL, it's going to be a Shen. My question is, what are the Taipei Snipers going to respond with to go up against that? Because Zonda, looking at his previous matches, he's played pretty much Shen. He's played also Renekton, and he's played quite a few other things, but he likes these these tanky top laners to really play.
Toppy tanky laners. We'll see what comes out from that one. But for the Snipers, we did see Vi being picked up and also Gragas. And we thought that Gragas might be a highly contested pick between these 2 teams. Got through the banning phase, was picked up in the first round of picks here by the Taipei Snipers. So let's see what SGS are going to be locking in. Fiddlesticks, which is among, for Kaling, that's basically what he's been playing. Annie, Fiddle, Thresh. Literally the only 3 that he's played so far in the GPL this season. So not a surprise to see that. And also Jarvan the 4th for Hallelujah, his go-to champion in the jungle.
Yeah, we were pretty much expecting that. I guarantee the Taipei Snipers knew they were going to go with that kind of champion as well for the jungle. But right now, with the Grogs picked up, I'm actually kind of surprised, or not surprised, but intrigued to see it, because it's actually the 3rd most banned out champion in GPL with 19 at the moment, right behind Zed and Shen. And we've seen many different times how it can work really well for your team, using that ultimate to obviously, obviously push the team away, or use it to single out someone. But we were talking about it a little bit earlier, with the ping they're playing on, singling out one person is very, very difficult to do.
It is, because of the kind of unpredictability about that, with the fact that we have a lot of mobile champions these days in the pool that everyone's playing. So not always the easiest to lock down, but when it's effective, it is pretty damn strong. It looks like we may see a Jinx Thresh lane coming out for the bottom here of Taipei Snipers, and certainly hovering over that one right now. Although Lulu, Thresh, we'll see. It's going to be a Lulu in the end.
Yeah, I'm looking at that, and maybe we're going to see a Lucian, or maybe Chawi's going to go with that team. He's played it actually a couple of times in the GPL, which is kind of surprising. We don't really see him ever in any other areas, at least within LCS. You usually see him as a troll pick for Edward, or whoever is that last pick.
Yeah, we actually saw him in the first 2 games of the season. Chawi played that one with a win and a loss. The third game was against the Snipers, and they actually banned out Teemo against him.
Yeah. I mean, you don't. The thing is, he's one of those champions, at least for most people, where you know how to play him, obviously, but you don't necessarily know what counters him like really hard in lane, or at least you're not used to going up against him. And why go up against someone that you're not really used to playing against, and just go with something you're more really used to here? But I was thinking maybe a Lucian. Obviously, gets rid of the Lulu's slow and can help you get around, help you be very mobile. And it's not a bad lane to go with Fiddlesticks here, but him hovering over Teemo, like, that actually can be a legitimate pick, so I don't want to count that one out. Well,
he'll actually switch there in the last second. It's going to be picking up Lucian, who we just seen coming in as pretty much #1. Plus the Malphite here for Cryonics
I'm thinking of
in
one
the mid
thing.
lane.
I'm thinking of poor Reckless on the bad end of that, with Alexich playing Malphite, constantly going over him after every single fight. And with the DFG he had, he pretty much would one-shot him every single time. It was ridiculous, and that's a danger of a Malphite, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that actually going to be in the mid lane.
If he gets rolling, though, that's the thing. If you can get there before him, we'll have to see.
I thought that was a joke about Rox and rolling.
It kind of was, but it also kind of wasn't. Rengar, last 2 weeks, or last 2 games, actually, including the game against the Singapore Sentinels that the Snipers played, Zonda played that Rengar in the top lane, and they're not changing that up here today. They're going to go with it again.
Yeah, and I really want to know how he's going to do against Shen. I mean, there's a couple different things you can do. Usually I typically see most Rengars level the Bullet Strike, the E. You can do that free range harass pretty much. And then you either back around level 6 and you go gank another lane. You go gank middle or something like that with your jungler, you go gank bottom, and then you just get straight back towards that top lane, because it's really hard to kind of call Rengar's missing. You expect to come back top, but if he sneaks in on you with that ultimate, it's pretty much a death.
And jumps at you every 10 seconds from bush as well.
Yeah.
That's one of the annoying things, certainly playing against that one. But I think everyone, on pretty comfortable champions, if you look down what they've played in the past and what they're going to be bringing to the table after the bans and the picks here, everyone is pretty much on a comfort pick.
I'm actually, one thing I'm looking at in terms of how these lineups are going to go is mistake on Lulu. Obviously, the extra health you get can help with the Malphite, who's trying to burst someone down, trying to combo someone down, so you can use it on your AD carry to keep them alive. But there's also a reverse order of that, where if you want to engage, pop it on a Rengar who's going to stealth in, you knock them up when they don't even see it, and it keeps them slowed, keeps them around Rengar, or even with Vise, so they have a good initiate and a good disengage at the same time. It's a very, very good lineup.
And the Singapore Sentinels on home soil here as well. We'll see how that one affects them. And how the crowd here behind us, or in front of us, actually is from where we're sat. In front of the stage, of course, the crowd just in front of the stage, as a crowd usually is at events. But yeah, an interesting game coming up. Of course, it will be best of 3, just like all of the other games that we have here in the Intel Extreme Masters. And honestly, not 100% sure which way this one's going to go. The fact is, as I said before, that they are currently tied 1-1 in the GPL standings, although TPS are the team that are doing better overall. Just 2 losses they've got to their name this season.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those matchups where you look at it, and any given day, any team or any one of these 2 teams can win it. I said to you, I think it comes down to the bans coming into this game, who gets more of the comfort picks. And right now, I'm actually leaning in favor of SGS, just because of that Malphite pick alone. It gives you that strong initiate. You follow it up with the Fiddlesticks. As long as they get rolling, just like you said, if Malphite gets put behind, if Shen gets put behind a little bit here, they're going to be missing out on so much damage that Azubu Blaze, having that Rengar at the top lane, will have the ability to kind of make up for it.
And we see they're just throwing out those baller strikes early on. Not really a problem, obviously, with the way that Rengar works. But are we going to see any early action? A good few wards put down on the bottom side of the map. Hallelujah, they're just throwing in the flag to have vision of that curved bush up on the top side. But other than that, nothing as of yet. And actually 2 wards put down here, 1 on the corner, 1 in that brush. And that's going to spot Singapore Sentinels here as they start to move up towards that top side tri-bush. Zonda going to jump in there onto Hallelujah. And that will actually signal them to back off. And there's the pressure of the Rengar. Jumps at you and you're scared.
Yeah, and that's what's so hard to go up against him at level 1 when you typically will always fight in a bush. I mean, you're not going to fight in the middle of a river when you have bushes to kind of surprise people with, but we're going to have some standard starts here. And the double ward top, though, that's actually... I really like that. It gives him so much vision, and it prevents any sort of late invade coming of SGS. Like, you will be able to see them coming, and you'll be able to keep your own 2 buffs alive.
But do you really need 2?
Probably not.
That's my question.
But I'm not going to question these guys.
Would 1 maybe be enough there? Either way, we are going to be seeing lane swaps coming. SGS here doing the blue buff, and we'll send Lucian and Fiddlesticks to the top side, and we will have Jinx, Lulu down on the bottom side of the map here for the Taipei Snipers. Now, mid lane, Malphite versus Gragas. We all remember Alex Hitch's Malphite in the grand final of Intel Extreme Masters Cologne last weekend. Reckless had a bit of a hard time to deal with that one. A bit of pressure from that. And actually, we can see that red buff here is going to be started off.
And you see Mistake, he's staying with wins. He wants to make sure that he secures this buff. But at the same time, Hallelujah is doing the same thing in his jungle. So we're going to have those traits happen in the end. And God JJ is going to get the advantage from it because he'll have the early levels too. But right now, we do see Jarvan visiting middle.
Yeah, this could be dangerous. Actually, we will see Vi get over to this one, but the knockup will come in, and that is Gragas having to flash away. Flash comes down from Cryonics. Is he going to have the damage? Gets in there. First blood is picked up. Jarvan did get away. The question now is whether Wins is going to be able to finish this one off. Mistake coming in. There is a flash. Cryonics is going down here, surely. Yes, finished off by Wins. Jarvan managed to get away from that one up to that turret. Mistake's not going to have the damage to finish him off, but that will be a 1-for-1 start.
And great positioning by both teams right there to really make that happen. And in the end, we get an extra assist going in favor of TPS, so they get a little bit of gold, or extra gold from that. But Wins also gets a nice, strong start here with that kill for himself.
Wow, Mistake there. Has been caught out a little bit. I don't think he quite expected Hallelujah to be diving quite as deep in as he did there. This top lane obviously going to be a 2v1. Rengar all on his own. Bottom lane will be a 2v1 as well once Mistake actually gets down, but he's played a little bit more roaming in these early levels just to support where he's needed.
Zonda's been having a decently tough time over towards his top side. I mean, you see the Dark Wind bounce him multiple times right there. Obviously, he can heal it up with that Empower W, but right now, he's not sitting too pretty on farm. We see, you know, Benny just doing a great job of keeping up, sitting at 9 CS currently, and a Shen in a solo lane in a 1v2 isn't too bad.
Not too bad for him. Jarvan here headed up to this top lane. Wards just timing out there. They've actually pinged onto this one, and Vi will be coming down the lane, so they're going to try and turn this one around. The question is whether they can bait them in here under the tower. There is a ward put down that will spot Vi coming in, but may possibly be too late. That minion wave is starting to push up here. Chowie is going to make sure that that one is on the tower. Are they going to make the move? Nope. They see Vi coming in, and Hallelujah moves back around to that front side.
Both these junglers have such a great read on each other to realize, or at least in Win's part, he's probably going to get top. They have a big wave pushing, and he's just going to stay here so Zonda can get some experience. Actually, importantly, the experience, just so he doesn't get pushed out of the lane right now. And he's going to be able to catch up in levels, which he's going to need. And I really want to know, what is he going to do with this Rengar once he does hit level 6? Is he going to be able to get these kills that he's going to need?
Yeah, well, we see that roam coming down. That'll be answered a little bit later on. Right now, though, see Shen in this bottom lane. 2v1 scenario for him. But with Jarvan up on that top side, he knows that he's got no defense, but also no threat from the jungle since Vi is on the top side of the map as well. And it's all about turret pressure right now from SGS. They've already gotten this outer top turret down very low. Zonda, as you can see, able to heal up quite nicely there. But still, they need to be careful about this turret.
Yeah, you're seeing TPS respond to this in kind by trying to push down that bottom turret as fast as possible, but I don't think they're going to be able to get it before SGS does. And with this three men here, I mean, obviously Jarvan can provide a little bit more in a push since he has the attack speed off of that standard. And it looks like they will be able to get the first one, but Wins is sticking around.
Yeah, Wind's hanging in for this one, but with that Dark Wind coming in, constantly annoying, stopping them from casting what they want to do. And this is going to be the first turret of the game going down. Singapore Sentinels taking an early lead thanks to that one. It's close to that 1,000 gold mark. Well, it is 1,000 gold.
And Joe, I hope you're really quick on the camera here because whenever you see Cryonics go in over towards that late part of the game, it's going to be very deadly, and you really don't have a way of preventing him from getting there. That's what makes Malphite so strong, and right now he's doing a decent job of farming up. He's sitting about 28 to that 37 of his opponent. And as long as he keeps us up, as long as he doesn't get pressure too much, I'd imagine he's going to be that threat that he needs to be to God.
We'll see about that one. There is the turret finally going down in the bottom lane as a response to the one earlier on. So that's going to level us all pretty much back up. And now interesting to see where these duo lanes actually end up going. We can see that Lucian and Fiddlesticks headed towards this bottom side, but Ben is actually down there as well. So that may have to change here on the next recall. Does have himself that Giant's belt in for the start of things, as well as Cryonics. Just missing out on a little bit of CS there. Not a massive deal, but you see the SGS actually setting up here towards the blue buff as we approach that 7-minute mark.
Yeah, I think they're expecting Dragon to be happening here, as we do have a ward going down for TPS's side as well as SGS, so they know where they are. And both teams sending their AD carry supports down here because they want to be able to have that control over this Dragon. In the meantime, Zonda's just sitting up there farming in that top side, trying to catch up a little bit, at least to his counter. But here comes Next on the side here. He does have a little bit of a pinch going on, but they don't want to engage for it just yet.
No, Hallelujah playing great positioning here, not really committing to one side or the other, waiting for the rest of the SGS team to get in. You can see that pink ward going to clear out all the vision, and they may just have to give this one away, and they will give this one away. That is going to go over to Cryonics on Malphite. Now the race becomes whether Hallelujah can get over to his blue buff, secure that one before Vi and Gragas get involved over that side.
Well, you saw right there, just the pressure that Cryonics can apply by being near that blue buff. That ultimate, it's so hard to go up against. It's so hard to dodge with the flash, but TPS, they're trying to respond. They're trying to go for it, but I'm not sure if they can make it happen. Well, with Zonda over towards that top side heading down, it looks like they're going to be able to lock it down here. And so overall, just going to have a blue trade to both teams.
Yeah, really nice response there from the Taipei snipers to make sure that they don't fall behind in terms of buffs. And of course, we do have Gragas in the lead in that lane. Certainly in terms of the CS, that kill did come down a little bit earlier on for Cryonics on Malphite. Between the AD carries, a 10 CS lead for Lucian, working his way up towards that Trinity Force. Got the Phage in there already, and a BF sword to start for Jinx.
And I want to see, Jinx should be able to do quite a bit of damage here when we do have a fight break out, but this pink ward battle that's kind of developing over towards Dragon shows that SGS wants to maintain vision control, as TPS just invested 3 wards over towards that top side to secure that blue buff, but now Hallelujah is just going to push bottom here. So he went top, pushed a little bit earlier, now he's just sticking with Xiaowei, trying to make sure that he doesn't get ganked at all.
Yeah, pretty low on farm, Hallelujah, but that is the fact that he has been away for so long. We can see there the missing pings going down on middle. That's because Cryonics is currently doing his wraiths as well, just trying to top up that farm that he fell behind against the Gragas, as you would naturally expect, but he's going to have a nice wave pushed against him. Got that blue buff in there as well, so he should be pretty safe on that front. Top lane now, Rengar versus Shen. They're at that stage where they're just going to be bashing heads, but unless something goes wrong for one of them, we shouldn't see a kill coming in.
Yeah, I'd have to completely agree on that one. Unless Zonda maybe gets a brutalizer, then he might have the damage, but in the end, they can both sustain so well, that's going to be basically impossible. But right now, I think we're looking at potentially a level 6 coming in here for a fight, but Next getting ganked.
Yeah, and that's a lot of damage coming down. Cryonics flashing away from wins as well. And that is a 1 versus 1 that we say it so often it shouldn't probably ever happen, but we are going to see down on the bottom. Mistake actually falling there in the end. And that was a little bit of a sad affair of things. He couldn't quite get in there for the save, couldn't get back to the safety of his tower. And that is 2 quick kills actually coming out for SGS.
Yeah, very fast. And with the pressure that Cryonics just applied middle, it forced Wins to go up towards that middle side to help him out, which gave them a 3-2 advantage in bottom. But they're not able to capitalize off Dragon for it. But we did see Shen actually use his ultimate in the middle of that fight.
Yeah.
But he didn't actually get transported down, so he was able to counter. We do have Super Mega Death Rocket coming in.
Yeah, but it's not going to do
I was kind of hoping for
I was getting ready
Yeah.
to click on Fiddlesticks there, but not quite in time for that one. I've seen a couple of super ultimates coming out of Jinx's this past weekend.
Yes, we have.
Yeah,
Some really
I
nice
think
ones.
game number 1 or game number 2 of the amateur tournament that was really impressive, right from the spawn basically up to the top lane on the enemy side of the map. So Certainly some potential for some showmanship with that ultimate out of Jinx. Right now, Hallelujah and Kaling are both waiting around this bottom side of the mid lane. We'll see if they get involved with that one with Unstoppable Force coming off cooldown in just a second. And the fact is, Cryonics had his blue buff refresh with that kill as well. It was a double win for him.
And we've seen how strong Malphites can be just this last weekend in Cologne. And he's at that point where he can really kind of carry it over. He's catching up in CS to Nex. And that means a very dangerous Malphite. But right now, you can see Kalen, he's level 5 currently. He's been roaming around quite a bit, trying to get these wards down. He hasn't hit that 6 point that will make him so scary to start a team fight with. But Mistake has finally hit level 6. He will have his ultimate available. And it looks like right now, TPS maybe wants to go for a dragon.
He's in a little bit of danger. He is caught out completely. We are going to see the Assault and Battery comes down. That is a kill, 4 wins. There is the Wild Growth onto him as well. Hallelujah now falling very, very low. That's 2 kills. The question now is whether Chowie can actually get away from this one. Mistake able to get in the slows. There is a Super Mega Death Rocket to finish off. A double kill coming in for God JJ. And that is the turnaround that the Taipei snipers were looking for.
That was fantastic. That was amazingly well done by TPS, as we even had Zonda coming down from the top side to go for a gank middle. But with those 2 kills, they're able to take Dragon now, and that gives them a huge bit of a gold lead, considering they just lost 2 men in those previous fights.
Really, really well played. Leaves Jinx at 2-0-1, and if we look down the gold, with that Dragon being picked up there, it puts 3 men over 1,000, and almost 1,000 gold for Mistake on the support to play here to spend as he heads off home. So there is a Bloodthirster finished off by Jinx. We actually saw in the last game in the amateur tournament in the final, Jinx going for the Infinity Edge first. We were talking a little bit about that one, and it seems like God JJ going to go for a little bit of a different way in terms of his build path.
Yeah, he kind of has to with the Malphite diving on top of him. He needs that extra sustain that the Bloodthirster will be able to give him in these team fights. But right now, Hallelujah trying to go for a gank on a Zonda here, but just look how tanky he is. That Rengar is really hard to push out of a lane right now. But now Chowie, he is the kill leader in GPL right now with 64. But TPS has been doing a good job of kind of controlling him. He has, a CS advantage, obviously, since we had those lane swaps come in, but he only has that 1 assist. They haven't let him get to that point where he can start rolling.
I saw Hallelujah actually just backing away from that one, knowing that probably not going to have the opportunity to lock down a Rengar, who's, as you said, incredibly beefy at this point. Got that cowl in there as well. A few wards started to come out here as well from TPS. The Sightstone now done for Mistake, and that should help them with this tower down to really put force some pressure on the enemy jungle.
Yeah, and the easiest way to tell what a team's going to do is buy their wards, and you pointed out perfectly. With those 4 down towards the bottom side, they want to make sure to kind of push this bottom part out while leaving, Zonda top lane to kind of just split push by himself so he can actually surpass Shen in farm. But they're still playing very cautious right now, and SGS has been doing a good job of making sure they secure their own buffs, and they've been sending multiple people over there just to make it happen.
There's Cryonics getting himself another bit of farm. Obviously has fallen behind, but that's to be expected against this Gragas here, who can constantly harass with the barrel, but now he might find himself a little bit out of position. Actually, in the end, just using that brush to his advantage, will walk away without having to use anything.
And he did so much damage to Wins with just 1 or 2 abilities right there. That is very deadly. He's going to be a level 11 soon, too, which kind of gives SGS the opportunity to fight if they want to make it happen. But other than that, a lot of, I don't want to say a slow game, but not a lot of kills coming in just yet. This team's playing very, very safe, considering this is a best of 3.
So a slow game.
Yeah. That's kind of the gist I'm going for, Joe.
Well, which is fine as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to really take into consideration that these 2 teams know each other extremely well. They've already played twice. They're tied in the GPL in head-to-head matchup. So there is a lot on the line for this one, not just the pride, but pushing through here at the Intel Extreme Masters into the next round. There's IG waiting in the next round as well. So there's no easy games, I'm afraid, in the pro bracket.
Really none at all. And all these teams definitely fighting for it. We do see over towards the bottom, Wins is trying to make something happen. As you do see, GodJJ, he's freezing the lane. He wants to make sure to strangle Chowie of any sort of income. Because right now, there's only a limited amount of gold you can have on the map at once, which it's forcing SGS to allow Chowie to take away all the jungle camps, which is putting Hallelujah behind, which you can see reflected in the CS. So they're really strangleholding them without actually pushing too much. It's just kind of waiting them out and making sure that they can't farm these lanes.
And that was Wins and Mistake just coming up towards that mid lane, but as soon as they do, they're spotted, they back straight away. We can see, I mean, Shen in this top lane, he's been pretty much pressured onto his turret this entire time, and considering that, he's actually ahead over Zonda, which is pretty incredible stuff. Means that he's been doing a great job under the turret there with the pressure on him.
Yeah, he's been doing fantastic. In the meantime, you do see a 3-man push on the middle here, and it looks like Hallelujah wants to push them away. We do have wins on the sideline to make some sort of counter happen, but you know, it comes down to, with both these top laners just farming away, who is going to be more effective in these fights? And Zonda, I kind of see as being the man to do that, because if he can get on top of Chowie, who's currently level 9 right now, he can provide so much damage they could possibly burst him down, or at least get him to that point where a Gragas barrel would clean him up, and that would give TPS a huge advantage in these fights.
Well, the pressure still remains here in this mid lane. Of course, Shen can join the party, but Jinx is down in the bottom lane. Rengar up at the top. Of course, no teleport across them, as there is the unstoppable force. They're going to chain everything together. They take down Gragas. There is Winds coming around. Super Mega Death Rocket did come in, but SGS not really losing health from this one. They're going to pick up all 3 kills. It was Kaelin that was tanking up the turret. There are actually no minions there, so Hallelujah has to desperately get away, but they should have the turret here, plus those 3 kills.
That switch, just to say go, just push it all in, and they went with that Jarvan Malphite combo to keep them in the air the entire time. Very well done. And considering SGS was kind of on the back foot when Chowie was getting limited on farm, they decided to group middle and just push. And when you have GodJJ bottom farming up himself, it gives you an easy team fight, and they took advantage of that completely.
Zonda, in the meantime, did bring something back here, though, for the snipers, taking down that outer top lane turret. Well, he might not have such an easy time here, as Chowie just coming in there, making sure that he doesn't push any further in this top lane. But the kill's really there. 3-1-2 going to on Malphite. We got a kill for Lucian. There's one for Jarvan. There's one for Shen. The spread is pretty much perfect at this point for SGS.
Yeah, and the assist too on top of that, especially for Kaelin. He's going to need those. And look at that damage that Chronix does to GodJJ just right there. If he had his ultimate up, that would have been a clean kill.
Him. Yeah.
And that's how deadly a Malphite can be, and that's what Alex Sitch really showed us last week in Intel Extreme Masters Cologne, and that's what Chronix is doing right now. But Taipei Snipers responding with the mid push themselves.
Yep, Hallelujah having to slide away, but there comes Kaelin over the wall. He's going to back up straight off of it, though. Well, at least they've managed to keep this turret alive, but how long will they be able to hold on to that one? Shen is back to A, of course, did use Stan United in that previous fight, so he's going to be pushing that bottom lane out. Rengar still pushing in the top, but they still are putting down the pressure with that 4-man squad on the mid.
But Cryonics is coming. He has his ultimate available, so does Hallelujah, so they forced Taipei Snipers to back away here. They would have had the exact same combo they pulled off earlier on, and this time TPS being a little bit wiser, not letting that one happen, but they're going to be able to take away a blue buff here, it looks like. And that helps a little bit. It at least takes away the cooldown reduction on Cryonics, so he won't have his ultimate up as often, but look what he just picked up, a Nisi Large Rod. His ultimates are going to kill right now, and TPS, the only person strong enough to really tank that is Zonda currently.
They're playing a bit of a sneaky game here at Dragon, which actually might mean that rather than taking a Dragon outright without having to fight for it whatsoever, that they're now going to actually have to fight for that Dragon, which might not be a bad thing either. They are, they've been picking up the kills. They're technically behind in gold right now. Mistake is going to get caught out. There is a Cataclysm coming down. The Culling will come in as well. Zonda diving right into the middle, and Kaelin will go down. Unstoppable Force was used at the back there, but Zonda so healthy, just hammering away on Chowie. Hallelujah going low. Chowie will flash away, but Zonda flashes right on top of him here. They decide, let's pick a different target. Hallelujah will be the choice. He should go down from this one. GodJJ did just pick that one up there, and that will be 2 men down for 1, and that will mean a Dragon for the snipers.
And TPS, I mean, considering they were bottlenecked over towards blue, they were able to spread out quick enough that Chronix had to choose only one target. He hit Gragas, and that's not the man I guess he was necessarily going for, because he was able to escape his life. GodJJ was able to do all the damage he did. He's now 3-0-2, and TPS, with just that play alone, gets such a huge advantage in this game.
That blue buff going to be going over towards next year as well. Always a bonus on that front. And look at Jinx now. We were talking about Lucian earlier on, and it started off nicely, but Jinx 3-0-2, 1,800 gold to spend with already that Bloodthirster done from earlier on. The top laners all starting to get a lot more beefy as well. Zonda got the pretty much full workings here off that Sunfire Cape, and that's the annoyance of the Rengar.
Yeah, he wasn't even trying to fight him. He just wanted to get the full minion wave, and he was able to get it. And it still comes down to later on, what team benefits more from their top laner getting all this farm and being left alone. And Zonda kind of proved in that last fight alone that he's kind of outscaling, funny enough, a Shen. He was able to push away Chaui throughout the entire fight. He was able to zone them just by him standing there, and it helped win in the fight.
So barrels being thrown out, and snipers still didn't quite take that tower down. Got 380 health, let's call it, at this stage. We do have Unstoppable Force back off cooldown, and GodJJ and Mistake still have to be extremely careful about that one, about whether the Malphite can actually get in there. We can see that Vi headed over towards the side now. This could be bad news. Shen at level 13, the slow comes in, actually manages to dodge away from Winds, and that should get him back out to safety. That was a nice dodge, even whilst being slowed, probably the hardest ones to dodge. But the problem is that snipers have got this wave pushing and might be able to have this top turret.
And SGS, they didn't have the wards in their own jungle to actually transition from middle towards that top lane quick enough. So TPS is going to get some good damage on set. They're going to rotate, it looks like, back over to middle, and that will be a guaranteed turret. And I guess that's kind of their game plan. They don't want to go up against SGS under a turret like that. When you have a Malphite, they just want to rotate, force you to rotate with them, and then just pick them off one by one, at least the turrets.
Well, waves cleared out, rest of the team moving in. Well, SGS have already moved across that side as well. We saw there the zap onto Cryonics, already doing quite a lot of damage. Picked up the workings of that Phantom Dancer here. Has GodJJ. Once that comes in, he's going to be ripping chunks out of them when it comes to the fights.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to be hurting quite a bit, and it's pretty much Cryonics' job to hit him with that ultimate, and then you have to have Howlia follow up with that, maybe even get a Shenton across it. The thing is, like, they don't have a lot of damage. It's kind of just like a one-trick pony where Cryonics, it's just dependent on his ultimate alone. If he hits a good one, they can win the fights. If he kind of whiffs it a little bit, then TPS can kind of sustain it and just out-damage it over time.
So that turret finally dies. It's taken a while here, probably about 5.5, 6 minutes since that turret was actually first knocked low. What is the next move?
Ooh, DFG.
For the snipers?
Sorry, that DFG is going to be coming very soon for Cryonics, and when that happens, GodJJ better be in a good spot or be very quick on that trigger finger to dodge that ultimate, or he will be able to kill him.
Well, he does have his flash available. That's going to be basically what he's got to dodge that one.
Yes.
Let me see that Mistake and GodJJ moving through the enemy jungle. Actually not really putting any wards down there right now. I'm guessing he's not got any charges left. They've just seen one put down by Fiddlesticks, and with that they rotate straight over towards that bottom turret. Very methodical play right now from the snipers, but are they going to dare to get close in onto this one? They know that Malphite's there. They know that if he decides to start off that fight and it hits the right person, then they're all in very deep trouble. In the end, they back away, and in the meantime, Shen pushing right up here on towards this inner turret. He's going to get a good chunk of damage off onto it.
Yeah, it's just seen SGS, the split push for Shen is working out way better than a split push for Zonda, but in these team fights, Zonda's providing a little bit more here, but he's going to get the turret a little bit low, and it wasn't even about taking the turret necessarily. It was about relieving the pressure bot lane and forcing them to back away, forcing them to get away from SGS side of the base, and or at least side of the map, and it allows Cryonics to finish that DFG really soon.
Oh, that one was cleared out, and SGS actually pushed out a little bit on that bot lane as well to free up a bit more time in that top lane for Shen. Focus himself on the minions, but we can see that Taipei Snipers moving straight through here, and they want to keep control of this blue buff. Hallelujah had started that one off, but this is going over to the snipers. There's no way that SGS can actually get in there and stop it from happening, and there it is. Meanwhile, Chaui did push all the way out on the bottom lane and took the final final outer turret of the game that was left standing for the snipers.
And Stake with this Oracle, he's clearing out all the vision. Hallelujah actually might get caught from the backside, and they're going to squeeze in on a Shen.
Yeah, Shen's in all kinds of trouble now, really getting caught from now. And actually, we'll use a flash, but Assault and Battery comes in. The Chompers lock him up. There is Unstoppable Force, and GodJJ goes very, very low. That might actually be big danger for him. Fiddle in there as well. Zonda going to get exhausted, and now they're going to have to turn and run away from this one. But can they make it? Ben, he's very low. Actually gets the shield in there. He's still alive at the back. Zonda's taken so much damage just from that one as he tries to lock down the Shen. He's going to fall, which will be a double kill for Cryonics, and that's 3 men down. They're healthy. Are they thinking about Baron here? Oh, he's dead. No, No, Baron switches target there. Only needed one more. I thought they were going to go straight in for that one, but actually Chowie, he's looking for more kills. Mistake's got no mana left, but he'll be able to walk away from that one. And the same fact that Nex is already way on his way to that inner turret in mid. No Baron attempt. Almost took down Kaylin there, which was very, very close. But either way, a nice fight won. And for what looked like Shen being caught out.
Rocket!
Position. I didn't even see it coming.
Oh, wow. That was... Nice shot. Nice shot by Jinx right there. But yeah, that fight alone, I kept talking about the Malphite ultimate. If he gets a good one off, it's going to win him a fight. And he hit 4 people with it. And from that, from the slow I believe he got on a God JJ, it forced him to miss the flash over the wall. It forced him to not get to that safety. Then you had Hallelujah follow up with the knock-up on his own and the Cataclysm, and that just caught them off guard, gave him a huge amount of kills here, and gave him a little bit more of control of this game. But in the meantime, Dragon's being done by TPS. They have the timer on it, and they're able to lock that one down.
Yeah, almost a 3,000 gold lead that they hold at this point. Definitely in the upper hand when it comes to war. They got a couple of deep ones here on the enemy blue buff and also on their side, on the enemy side of the dragon from their point of view. And Zonda continues to farm his way through some Fire Cape, Spirit Visage in there as well. He's got almost 1,000 gold to be spending, as has got JJ. He's got 1,600 right now that he can go back home and pick up. We'll see what he goes for next with that Jinx that's currently sat at 4-1-2.
Yeah, he's doing very well in this game right now, and both these teams, they're really trying to fight for vision advantage, really trying to fight for that control around this Baron pit, because they realize, at least for TPS, if they walk into a bush against SGS without it being warded, that Malphite ultimate will come out and they will burst someone down very quickly with many different ways they can do that. But for SGS, they just want to be able to control their own side of the jungle because they've had such a hard time this entire game with it. They haven't had very many wards past this halfway point throughout these 27.5 minutes.
Anyway, recall coming in here as well for the snipers. They want to make sure that they get as much in there as they can. We can see the cowl now being picked up, and that is pretty much guaranteed going to be the Banshee's Veil.
Yep.
That's opportunity for, you know, to cancel out the unstoppable force of Cryonics is worth its weight in, well, probably double its gold at this point in the game.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard for SGS to pop that one too. I mean, you obviously have the Domestian Standard coming out of Jarvan. You have the Dark Wind out of Fiddlesticks. That's very difficult to see, as we do have Taipei Snipers going in here. They want to commit. Yeah,
they're going to go in towards Cryonics, and he was thinking about it there. Do I just all in on this one and put down the unstoppable force, or do I try and get away from it? In the end, they decide not to back on through, probably with the positioning of Chowie, who was knocked away with the Gragas ultimate rather than anything else.
And you saw right there, though, that the downside to an AP Malphite, he is super swishy. He almost got blown up quickly by the entirety of TPS, and that's why he's kind of a one-trick pony that he needs to be able to okay, he needs to have SGS be the ones to engage. He cannot let Taipei Snipers do it, or they're going to get in a really tough position. And I wonder what he's going to be building into next. It looks like maybe a Void Staff here, since there's a lot of MR being built up on the side of Taipei Snipers. Mistake does have another Oracle. And SGS, it looks like they want to go for a little bit of a push here, and they will see Zonda top lane, so they will have that man advantage they had earlier on when they fought middle.
Yep, a lot of armor coming in here as well from SGS on both Shen and Jarvan. And with that, Shen just pretty much tanking up that turret hit and saying, well, I can do that for a while. Let the minions have a bit of respite with the chompers down. Can't get too close in there, not able to put down too much damage onto that inner turret.
And look at the zone control that TBS is putting down with those chompers. Like that plus a barrel, it's an entire lane that you can't push into, or you're going to take some damage from somewhere. And they've been doing a great job of using those to their advantage. Also, next with those barrels, is able to clear a wave out basically himself. And SGS side, they can't really siege a turret. I mean, they just can't. They don't really have a long enough range to make it happen, but they can dive under a turret if they need to, especially with how tanky Shen is.
Yep, he's headed back towards top to push that lane out once again. And we did see a little bit of action around Baron early, but that was really the kind of lingering process of that last team fight that happened. But up until now, no team making any kind of commitment over to that one. But we see Zonda here coming in. He's going to put down the baller strike. Didn't really do a lot there, to be honest. The Shen is going to jump in, using those brushes nicely, but is he going to be able to lock him down? Not sure that he is. I think he realized that himself, and he's like, well, I'll just be happy to get the farm then. Or not, because Jinx will steal it.
So all that work for nothing for him. But not a lot of vision up for TPS side. You pointed out that Baron, a little bit of a contesting that we have, but it's been a really calm sense. That's just it. They're finally making the move. They're trying to clear out the vision inside of that pit, but you can see Fiddlesticks does not want to get caught here. It looks like he might be able to get.
Oh, Hallelujah actually getting knocked up, but here comes the Stan United. They're diving in at this one. God JJ goes incredibly low. They've already blown up Lulu. Finally, Malphite goes down. Benny's right at the front. The rest of the team need to get around to this one. Chowie finally comes in. They switch positioning on towards him. He's already used the barrier as a super mega death rocket comes out as well. Shen is finally getting low in this fight. Next will pick up that one. And Zonda is continuing to do a lot of damage on the front line. It will end up being a double for Nex, and only 2 men survived from SGS.
And great positioning by God JJ yet again to stay away from that Malphite, to not get caught too low. And with that Cal, it's definitely helping out with that magic resist. They're going to be able to get a turret off of this, and they have potentially enough time to take an inhibitor turret, but do they want to go for it? Should they back away, go for Baron instead? And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do.
Well, with Vi and Lulu coming back into this one, they should be headed straight towards Baron. Cryonix is 4 seconds out, but that should be down before he even gets close to this one. All of them pretty healthy from this one. Only really Zonda down to half, but he'll be fine and back up there in just a couple of moments. The Baron already down to less than half HP. Fiddlesticks and Jarvan on their way through, but already 1,000 health is what's left. And Hallelujah stood on the chompers. That's bad news. Horrible ulti comes out from Nex there. Didn't hit anyone, but Fiddlesticks is pretty much running against the clock from this one. He's going to go down. We didn't see more to the point. Cryonix using his unstoppable force to one-shot Lulu.
And that TFG mistake can't survive against that one. He does have his ultimate still available as well as the flash, but he's going to save it for next time. And it looks like TPS is going to continue to push here without Kaling having that ultimate, having that fear and silence here in these fights. They're not too scared of it. Not to mention Cryonix, with that ultimate not available, they're not afraid to siege some turrets down, and they're going for it.
Yeah, got JJ actually getting it down to half, very much on his own there as the Chompers coming once again. There is the culling to try and clear them out. Zonda going very, very low, but they dive right in on top of them. Look how low Shen's gone just from that. Assault and battery onto Chowie. He will fall, and they continue to push in there. Switching target out now to Hallelujah, drops down the Cataclysm. Got JJ falling to the turret, and they're chasing Hallelujah. Oh, that was really close to interrupting the slide over, but Hallelujah is still running here, but not for long. Bit overkill there maybe from Nex, but it gets the job done either way. And that will be another 3 kills coming down from the Taipei Snipers. They are now 7, let's call it 8,000 gold almost in the lead.
And that's just, they wanted to be able to hold on to that turret, but they're going to lose it in the end and lose out on quite a few people. And TPS just knowing when to engage, knowing that they felt like this was a good time for it. They had the Baron, they had an engage for it to happen with Zonda and win so tanky, and they didn't really need a mistake there, who just pushed down bottom, and that might be exactly where they want to head up next. But either way, quite a big gold difference here developing for TPS, and that's kind of all due to how many dragons they've gotten so far and that Baron.
Well, speaking about Dragon, that is going to be taken down without any problems whatsoever. A few more wards actually being put down in the jungle there on the way through by Kaling on Fiddlesticks. They need to hold onto that jungle. I mean,
wow,
they've lost that inner turret here.
Look at Gold Joe. Oh, is he? Oh, sorry, Nex was sitting on 5,000 gold. Sorry about that. I was just looking at it. I was like, he hasn't bought in a long time, but he spent 4,000 of it, and he has a Void Staff, the Death Cap, Dean's and Holy Grail, and almost a Zonya's. If he wasn't hurting before, I don't want to see what he's going to do now.
Hurting times 2 or 3 maybe even after spending that much. Zonda as well, we saw in that last fight that you can get him low, but he regens it so quickly that it's hard to actually do anything against him. And the fact that he can pin down and do a lot of damage on his way through to those single targets is really bad news. You see that pretty much the entire team coming towards that top inner turret, but the rest of the snipers are pushing down towards the bottom inner turret. They're going to be able to tank this one up. Are they going to get in there for Chowie? No, they're not. He's recall way in time for that one. So they're basically going to split the team up. 3 of them going to have to go, 4 of them even going to have to go down and defend that inner turret on the bottom lane. Shen going to try and hold off Rengar at the top.
Yeah, Zonda was able to just pull away 3-4 members by himself, while the rest of TPS just kind of set up towards bottom. They have some wards down. They see where everyone is going, and right now, Cryonix is trying to come in from the backside, but Zonda doing work top lane.
Yep, getting that one down, and that's probably not going to be stopping here either, you know? I mean, Ben able to do a little bit of damage back into him, but we'll see here in just a second once he hits 5 stacks as he heals it pretty much all back up without any problem. I'm going to concentrate on this bottom lane then, because that's where the rest of the teams are all lining up. We can see Jinx just trying to zap as much health away as possible. We've got Gragas barrels to roll in there for things as well. Meanwhile, we are seeing Zonda hammering on the turret, and
look how
Chen
low it
just
is.
doesn't have enough damage to stop him.
Yeah, look how low it is, and the Baron regen plus the heal from his W is just kind of keeping him there the entire time, and that turret's gonna fall very shortly.
Yeah, again, just healing up completely. Gonna stack up those 5 points and do exactly the same over and over and over. God JJ now has that Banshee's Veil in there as well, so that limits what Cryonics can do. They have to get rid of that Banshee's Veil before he goes in for it.
Yeah, and as we were saying before, there's very few ways for SGS to really make that happen, and JJ all minus 1 time, as you see right there, the attempt for it.
Yeah.
All but 1 time, he's had amazing positioning in these fights, and with that Banshee's Veil, it makes it even harder for that to happen, or for him to kind of be in a bad spot. But TPS, they're not even looking for a fight. They're just committing to this split push kind of strategy. And Zonda, he just can't be pushed out by Shen. He has too much health. He regens way too much of it, as you're saying before, with that Spirit Visage. And even in a team fight, you have to commit an Ignite to him if you want to be able to kill him. And you only have 2 of them, and one of them has to go to God JJ.
And especially now that he's got that blue buff in there, those cooldowns are going to be coming in quicker. That means that he's stacking up his points a lot faster. And you see that he's already going in for this one. Heals himself back up to half, but the rest of the team now coming around. He did, in fact, get taunted there. He's got his ultimate available. There is the stealth up. Where's he going to go? Hallelujah chasing him round, and he's going to escape this one. Hallelujah's not going to get anywhere close to him. He's even cheeky enough to turn around and get the slow in. And just that pressure, just pulling the entire team off, opens up finally that bottom inner turret.
Yeah, I mean, who does SGS send to stop Zonda? You can't send Xiaoyi because he'll probably just die to 1v1. Obviously, we know Ben's not been able to do it here with that Shen. And that's all TPS needs to do. Just rinse and repeat over and over. But right now, Baron's coming up, and this could be the little bit of a break that SGS needs if they can possibly force a fight and take that behind it.
That's 2,500 gold for Jinx, which is all going to be spent up here. We see the last Whisper coming in, a pickaxe as well. A little bit of magic resist for Gragas, along with that Zhonya's, the Rabadon's Deathcap Void Staff, and the Athene's Unholy Grail. Trinity Force in there as well for Rengar. TPS are in such a strong position here that if they don't make mistakes, then this should be their game.
Oh, but this might be the mistake they're looking for. We have SGS chasing down Zonda here. Zonda does have his ultimate to get away, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, how much of a mistake really is that? Pulls the entire team in,
wow.
Turns around, goes on to Xiaoyi, who loses almost instantly half of his HP. And look at this, Cryonics coming around the side. This may be the thing to stop it all going off, but is it going to be enough damage? Wins does die as we see Fiddlesticks jump in there. Kill for kill right now, but there are the Chompers. That's going to stop a lot of them. Cryonics goes down. God JJ getting that speed boost is absolutely destroying them here. Can he get Hallelujah? That's his target. He will not quite get it. The flash came in. Ben is going to fall. Oh, wow, Zap not connecting either, but they went all so very, very low. Ben is still somehow alive. The belly slam from next didn't land. There is the barrel, and actually Hallelujah did get away from things in the end, but that was a 4-for-1.
And with these death timers, Joe, TPS can just constantly push here. I mean, 30 seconds on a couple of members here. They already have the top inhibitor turned very low, and they're going to take down with an inhibitor behind it. They might be able to just finish this one.
Hallelujah just using to come out there, those home guard boots as fast as he possibly can. And yeah, Zonda just putting down the pressure. They all run away. When that bowler strike comes out, I say run away. It's more of a slow walk away from things. But Zonda, so very dangerous. We've got Baron coming up here. Baron's been up for a while, but the Tent is coming up for Taipei Snipers. And just a quick score update for you. Taipei Assassins were playing the Saigon Jokers over in the other quarterfinal. And I can tell you right now, 2-0 to the Saigon Jokers.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them and hear them cheering from over here. It was kind of maybe a little bit unexpected, but in the meantime, we still have this game going on as a fight breaks out.
Yeah, Hallelujah is going to get locked down by the Assault and Battery. Kaylin has to flash away from things, so already a couple of ultimates used here out of the Taipei Snipers. We can see that they're actually backing off.
Yeah, they don't want to...
That's dangerous.
They don't want to lose the game right here. Like, they don't want to lose that Baron buff to the other side when SGS has the most important ultimate available in the hands of Cryonics. He's not there right now, but obviously they didn't know that at the time, and We do have Ben's ultimate coming up very shortly. And it looks like TPS with that inhibitor down, I'm not sure if they even need to go for Baron. They can just bait them away from it, obviously. But they can still let Zonda just push bottom while they push top or middle.
Yeah, and Zonda makes short work of these minion waves, that's for sure. We see how many wards are around the Baron right now. Funnily enough, not
enough.
too much on the actual Baron itself. And, you know, across the whole halfway line, I guess we can say, from either side of things. Right now, though, we are seeing the snipers push those waves out once again. The bottom lane in particular pushed up on towards that inner turret. And the fact is that Mistake here with the Oracle on, got the pink down on the Baron pit itself, is strangling them in terms of vision.
He's doing a great job of that, especially trying to clear out everything as possible. He's being really brave too, checking a lot of bushes that didn't have warded just yet, but Zonda, he's still bottom, he's still pushing while the rest of TPS still just trying to bait someone from SGS out here. And right now, SGS has to make a decision. Do they want to go for the fight? Or do they want to go back and let Baron get go over free to TPS? They need to stop Zonda somehow, and he's on the inhibitor turret already.
Yeah. And he's going to keep going from it, isn't he? I mean, why back off right now? There we finally see them start to back away from that mid lane. And the pings come into middle. Zonda hammering in there, though. He's actually going to take this one down before they can get close to him. I'm not sure that the Inhib's going to survive things either. Shen is finally coming down the back, but he's probably going to get slowed, and Zonda will just be quite happy to try and trot away from this one. Actually, he's going to have to pop his ultimate, surely, to get away. The Culling comes in. There is the ultimate used by Zonda, and he's headed straight down the lane. No one able to catch him from that one. Meanwhile, Hallelujah right in the middle of them, but he's going to fall. There is Shen actually coming into things, but it won't be fast enough. The kill comes down for Nex.
And this is making me think that we're going to see a Rengar ban come into this next game, or at least a little bit of a different top choice for SGS, because Zonda is applying so much pressure. I mean, he has a good score, 2-1-11, but wow. Little 6 might go down here.
Yeah, he's dead. Not really a hard one to call that one. The Barrel taking half of his health. They've got at least 3 super minions coming down with this wave. Next actually moving in closer. This is going to be game number 1, surely. Going over to the Taipei snipers. We see Cryonics there off towards the side. Ben trying to hold him. It's actually the super mega death rocket that picked up the kill there in the final seconds. But this fight is going to end with a Nexus going down. Ben forced to back away. Nexus down to half HP. The super minions even chasing them onto the farm team, and the Taipei snipers pick up game number 1.
The thing about that entire game was, Joe, it wasn't clear cut at any point of it. I mean, we saw SGS actually do a couple of great engages that gave them an early advantage, and then we saw just TPS using their composition for their own to kind of just split push the entire time and not allow SGS to force these team fights that they wanted.
Well, it's a best of 3, so we have to keep that one in mind. Certainly some lessons to be learned when it comes to bans, I think, this time around. Rengar, so incredibly strong for Zonda. Ended up only 2 kills. Doesn't sound like a huge amount, but 2-1, 12 assists there, 331 CS. We saw how fast he was taking down the turrets and the inhibitor there right at the very end of things. But across the board, very strong. Got JJ on Jinx, 8-2 and 10 he ended that one. 9-3 and 6 for Nex on Gragas. Like, everyone across the board here played very well. Mistake caught out a few times, but 15 assists nonetheless in that one as well. And just an overall very solid. Yeah. Even though it was a little bit of a slower game, certainly to get going, and it was more of a control game than fight, win the game, finish it off. I mean, it lasted 42 minutes, almost 43 minutes there. So, it was a slower win. But it was a win, and it was pretty convincing once we saw, how things were panning out from the early mid-game. Yeah, it wasn't a win based off of just bashing heads. It was a win of, it was more of a chess game, let's just say that. It was more about strategy and executing it exactly how they want to. You saw TPS, they went for a fight middle. Actually, it was more towards Dragon and middle at the same time, and they kind of got caught. They kind of got hit off the ultimate by 3 or 4 people. And from that, they lost the fight, but they immediately changed their game plan from it. They were able to kind of execute a little bit differently, and from the strategy alone and from the adaptation, which makes the team so good, they were able to take that victory, just like you said, pretty convincingly. Well, the teams are obviously going to have a little bit of a chat after game number 1, and specifically SGS, I think, because they've got a lot of things to be thinking about. We're going to be taking a quick commercial break, but of course, when we come back, it will be game number 2 as the Taipei snipers here. Can they finish it out? Best of 3. They need 1 more from the remaining 2 games, or will SGS here on home soil in Singapore be able to bring it back? We'll find out in just a few.